today is the end of our contract as members of the Professional Staff Congress of CUNY, the organized workers, faculty, administration, librarians, grad workers, and so on of the CUNY system. And one thing, as you can hear in these chants, one thing that we vitally have to win in this next contract is $7,000 per course for adjunct.
The President and Provost have proposed a plan to increase tuition for master's students at the GC by $100 per credit.
I commute here from Long Island. I work part-time. I make enough money to be able to pay for like me getting back and forth, me doing a few little things like eating and stuff like that. So I really can't afford like another $100 per credit, which is just going to bankrupt me, and then I don't really know how I would pay for it.
For 130 years, CUNY was completely tuition-free for most of its student body. CUNY schools were segregated by gender until the 1950s, and Black, Latinx, Asian, and Middle Eastern students were routinely refused admittance until the late 1960s, when we started to occupy campus buildings across the city and set up counter-institutions like Harlem University in 1969. CUNY tuition was imposed across the board in 1976, and it has steadily risen ever since. When we talk about making CUNY free again, we're not just talking about tuition. We see free tuition as an ethnic, gender, immigrant, and accessibility justice issue. Can we remove these parasitic administrators and redirect their salaries to actually beneficial purposes?
With administration constantly giving themselves raises at the Graduate Center, our president makes $350,000 a year. Just as one person making this, as a public university in the city with some of the richest people in the world live, clearly there is enough money to pay for things like a living wage for adjuncts, to do things like offer free tuition to all CUNY students, not the shell of a pretense of free tuition that Governor Cuomo's Excelsior program is.
As of today, CUNY graduate student workers, faculty, and most of the professional staff are working without a contract. To lift adjuncts out of poverty, we need double the pay at $7,000 per course and a seniority-based job security system. We let 7K slide off the bargaining table last time, but we won't let it happen this time. CUNY prides itself on being the people's university with a radical history, but I call hypocrisy. Where is the justice in paying adjuncts $3,200 a course, which when accounting for grading, planning, and meeting students, means that we are making the average wage of a fast food worker.
Strike! 7K strike! 7K strike! 7K!
I'm a part of a group called CUNY Struggle that helps organize this day of action to commemorate the expiration of our contract. The reason we're rallying today is because yet again CUNY prepares to work without a contract while the most exploited members of our bargaining unit, adjunct faculty, who teach a majority of CUNY's classes, continue to make poverty wages. Our coalition emerged out of a campaign to vote no on the last CUNY contract. We felt that this contract only widened the tiers, the two-tier system, the gap between adjunct faculty and tenure-line faculty, by paying flat-rate wage increases across the board. So if you made $200,000, you made 10% on that, and if you made $20,000 a year, as many adjuncts do, you made 10% on that. This time we say, no way. We demand $7K for adjunct faculty as a baseline minimum wage. And we're happy that our union leadership has adopted this as the primary demand of the coming contract negotiation season. However, based on our experience with the union leadership's promises to adjuncts, we are not leaving anything to chance. So we are here organizing a rank-and-file day of action aimed at cultivating a powerful rank-and-file student and worker-led coalition to fight for 7K and nothing less, even if it means going on strike.
Let's go take our demands to the president.